Good evening to you. In sporting legend, there's nothing that thrills the fans more than the giant killers, the little men who take on and beat the very best in the game, as happened 20 years ago this very week. Here in the West, we're celebrating one of the most remarkable giant-killing acts of all time. It happened when, against all the odds, these men, the players from little third division Swindon Town, actually reached the final of the League Cup at Wembley. What's more, they were taking on one of the greatest sides of that time, First Division Arsenal. But against every conceivable chance, and in a match that could have been laid out by a Hollywood scriptwriter, Swindon created one of the sporting sensations of the decade and won.
He's streaking ahead and he's onside. Beautiful play! That is that!
And this was the squad led by the manager, Danny Williams. They included Rod Thomas of Wales, Stan Harlan, Roger Smart, Owen Dawson, Peter Downsborough, that goalkeeper, Frank Burrows, now a manager, John Trollope and Don Rogers, of course. This was the team that on Saturday, March the 15th, 1969, claimed a place in football's history books. And here with us again tonight is the same team. They're 20 years older now. They're no longer football players, but they're businessmen, taxi drivers, the ordinary sort of run-of-the-mill jobs that we all have. Manager Danny Williams, when you look back, can you believe it ever happened that you took this bunch of third division lads to Wembley?
No, it's like a dream come true, really. You know, it's one thing you dream about, and it happened. And that's a good thing, what's happening in Swindon.
What are you doing with yourself up in Yorkshire now, Danny?
I've retired now and just sit back and do a bit of gardening and look after myself.
Just take us back to that time. What were you earning in 1969 when you managed a cup final team?
When I was managing Swindon, I was on £29 a week.
Rod Thomas, what do you can you believe that you know, is it all a dream, or you know, what do you think when you look back and remember it all?
Well, that day I can always remember after the game, wishing that it could happen again, because it went by so quickly. I mean, it was an amazing day.
Indeed, Rod. Well, we've all heard of cup fever, and the level of excitement in Swindon as the big day approached gave a new meaning to that phrase. It wasn't just the fans, everyone joined in, the newspapers, the shop windows. You couldn't be in Swindon and miss the fact that something was going on. Even the post office joined in with a special issue. Swindon's cup run had been no fluke. They'd beaten First Division sides, Coventry, Derby and Burnley along the way. They were full of confidence, and so were the fans. It really was their big day. In Swindon, the big question on everyone's lips was, have you got a ticket for the big match? How often do the supporters of a third division club get to Wembley in a cup final? And how often is there the opportunity of meeting a side like the mighty Arsenal? Frank Burrows, what were your thoughts as a third division defender about having to take on that Arsenal team at Wembley?
Well, being a Scotsman, Roger, I was a bit concerned we had nothing in our contracts. There was no money covered, and that was a concern on us, because I was the spokesman to try and get the money sorted out.
John Trollope, what were your thoughts about going to Wembley in the final?
Well, I've never, obviously, like a lot of the lads, hadn't played there before, so it was an experience everybody looked forward to, and I think it all goes too quickly, and really it was over before you even realised.
And taking on the mighty Arsenal?
Well, obviously they were doing well at that time and they had some big name players, but you know, we knew with obviously Danny's training anyway, especially on the Thursdays, that we were going to last on a pitch which wasn't too good on the day.
But a certain amount of trepidation amongst Swindon fans, perhaps, and those feelings were understandable when you remember exactly who that Arsenal opposition were. And look at that squad. From the back row there, Peter Storey of England, Peter Simpson, Ian Ure of Scotland, the goalkeeper Bob Wilson, of course, John Radford, George Graham, now a top manager, and there's Bobby Gould, who spent so much of his career as a player and then a manager here in our West Country. Then you go along the bottom row and you've got Robertson and Samuels and Court and the captain Frank McClintock, McNabb, Armstrong, and there's Pat Rice. This then was the scene for Swindon's big day in the League Cup final on that famous Saturday back in March 1969.
Danny Williams, who has achieved what few managers can have achieved by taking a third division side to Wembley. There's Danny Williams. What a tremendous achievement by him, and certainly there can be no prouder moment for any manager than to lead his side out for a Wembley final in front of a crowd of 100,000. And John Smith well inside that centre circle as Arsenal kick off. And here's Peter Storey. Smith and the first flash from Rogers. Good ball here to Butler. Playing it on for Smart. Gould flicking that on, very nice, and McClintock coming forward as he likes to. Gould! Good covering by Swindon, though. Certainly their nerves are not showing yet. But Gould again, to Samuels. Good shot, good save! From Samuels, number 8. John Smith coming away for Swindon. Don Rogers. Beating one and another. And the roar is going with him. Little jink. And a good cross. And it needed Ure to get that one away. Good work by Rogers. Smith. And a chance for Rogers again to keep it up. Off the referee. Breaking nicely for Swindon to Smith. To the far post. Noble is there. And Wilson lost the ball. And my goodness, Smart was nearly there to bang it home. A bad mistake by Wilson. Noble to Smart. Rogers running inside. And Rogers is away. Now here's a great chance for him. Good work by Wilson. Noble following up. And my goodness, that Arsenal defence was caught wide open then. And Wilson atoning for that earlier mistake. Simpson. Radford! And now Rogers bringing it out of defence for Swindon. Lovely play. And there to take the return. Good play by Rogers. Oh, a terrible mix-up. Noble. Simpson. Smart. And goal! What a terrible mistake by Arsenal. What a dejected man he is. It's Smart who finally pushed it home. But Ure and Wilson between them. Oh, what a happy man, Roger Smart. 10 minutes to go to half-time. And against all the odds, this third division side from Swindon are ahead.
Well, midfield dynamo Joe Butler, now a taxi driver. Did you think when you took the lead that Swindon were rolling towards victory?
I think that's a bit difficult to say, Rog. I mean, you're so involved with the game. You know, it was a bit too early to think that. But, I mean, I just thought that we were a good side and we always had a chance.
Don, what do you remember of the goal by Smart and being in the lead against the Arsenal? Too long to go yet?
No, I think, as you say, it happened that quickly. I think the goal was a group of errors. But, you know, being the side we were, we always chased everything, you know.
Yeah.
And we always got on very well off the field as well. I think this is a big part of it, you know.
Thank you, Don Heath. Well, Arsenal, as you can imagine, were absolutely stunned. But they were a great team, remember, and Swindon were soon to know all about it.
Well, I wonder what thoughts are going through the Arsenal bench. Don Howe in the centre there, and on the right of the picture, the Arsenal manager, Bertie Mee. Looking for Radford. Trollope misjudging that one. He's only got Gould in the middle. Armstrong streaming up as well. Radford, good save. Well, he must have felt that Downsborough would have one eye on men advancing on him, and he tried to pile one in just inside that near post. And here comes the corner. Gould again putting Downsborough under pressure, but Downsborough as cool as you like. Really has played well, this Swindon goalkeeper. Radford again, trying to flick it on. Gould is in there. And another corner. Under that crossbar, Court going in. And another corner. And the man who comes out with so much credit is this man, Peter Downsborough. Against all the odds, he's getting up there and punching these balls away. Here's another one coming in. You're getting in. Up we go again. McNabb. And now Heath. Well, there's no doubt where they come from. Here comes yet another corner from Armstrong. Again under that bar, and again Downsborough there. What a game he's having. First game he's ever had at Wembley, and my goodness, he's going to remember this one. Yet another corner. Placed a bit wider this time, looking for McClintock, and Ure. But before Ure can get there, it's Haaland. It's still bobbing about. McNabb! Oh, fine save! It's still not out. Radford. Radford again. Caught going in and down spot. What a goalkeeper.
Well, lads, as Brian Moore said, what a goalkeeper. Frank Burrows, you were in that box all the time. He had a good game, didn't he, the goalkeeper?
Yeah, I mean, we can look back now, and we won the cup, and they can't take that away from us. But the first half, Arsenal murdered us. And Peter and a lot of good defending, and a little bit of luck saw us through the first half.
So Swindon had survived, and all those thousands upon thousands of West Country fans who'd made the long journey up to Wembley for the big day, they began to hope.
5 more minutes now for Swindon to hold out. And judging by their performance over the last 85 minutes, there's nothing to say that they can't do it. Ure. Straight to Rodgers, of all people. Graham, now Gould off in support. Can Gould get to it now? It's a goal by Gould! And my goodness, is he not pleased with life? Bobby Gould! Oh, what a smile! And they're really happy. He's crying. Bobby Gould is crying. And poor Peter Downsborough, the man who has done more than any man could ask of a goalkeeper this afternoon. And now, with something like 3 minutes left of normal time, he's beaten at last.
Willie Penman, those were the days of one substitute allowed. You'd come on in the second half. Can you remember your feelings when 3 minutes from time Arsenal snatched the equaliser?
Yeah, I felt terrible. Especially Bobby Gould was crying and what have you. And but I was quite confident because we were keeping them out, and we always had done up front. It's good on the break, and plus the main factor was the fact that the pitch was heavy. We were accustomed to that at the county ground because, you know, we played in a bog every week.
How would you sum up this team that you came into and watched on the sidelines for most of that game?
It was difficult. It's difficult, and we got off to a great start with Roger Smart scoring. That's really what we needed, and we held in after that, and yeah, convincing victory in the end, 3-1.
3-1, as you say, Willie, but it was 1-1 then. But if you think that was those Swindon lads had drama already, well, I can tell you that as the game went into extra time, the excitement, as they say, had only just begun.
Butler to Noble to Penman on the break. Heath outside him as Heath. Heath trying to dummy past McNabb and does so. There's a chance for a nice goal. Oh, against the post. What a let-off again for Arsenal. From Roger Smart, the man who scored their goal. But very good save by Bob Wilson, pushing it onto the post. They really do come back, these Swindon boys. Well, we've got just about to the end of this period of extra time. And it's a brave man who put his money on a winner of this game. It's still so very even and so very, very close. Very nearly through. Rodgers! A goal by Rodgers! Goal 23 of the season for him, and the most important one of all. What a tremendous comeback by Swindon Town. All the courage in the world to go ahead of Arsenal again after being pulled back so tragically, so close to the end of normal time. Don Rogers puts them ahead. Butler to Penman. Rogers. The great hero. Here's Rogers again. And again, so much confusion in this usually so orderly Arsenal defence. And now can Heath get to this one? He's got Noble there in the middle. Heath. Oh, just wide. Well saved by Wilson. And you're now for Arsenal. And smart away for Swindon. Rogers is streaking ahead and he's onside. Beautiful play! That is that! Don Rogers, his second goal of the game, and that really puts Swindon Town utterly and completely in the clear. And there is this incredible scoreline. Arsenal 1, Swindon Town 3, the final whistle. Swindon have won the Football League Cup for 1969. The man who scored 2 of them, number 11.
Well, Don Rogers, you've seen that a fair few times now. Do you ever begin to have nightmares that Bob Wilson's going to grab that one off your toes when you're going past him?
No chance of that.
What does it mean to you when you see these goals again?
I think it means the same now as it did then. I mean, especially the third goal. I mean, it meant the game was finished and we'd won the game, you know.
What's it like seeing all these lads again for you?
Oh, it's great. Oh, yeah, because, I mean, I see a few of them quite a lot, you know, but 1 or 2 of them I don't see them at all. So it's great just to get together.
He's as cool as ever, isn't he? That's why he scores those goals. Well, there was no doubt who was entitled to go up and receive that cup.
And Stan Harlan. Lord Snowden there as well. President of the Football League, Mr. Len Shipman. And that's the moment all Wiltshire's been waiting for. And now we get the lap of honour that this crowd here from Swindon has been waiting for. Danny Williams, the manager, was running there behind them. What a tremendous achievement, though, for Danny Williams. After playing something like 600 games for Rotherham, he came to Swindon 4 years ago and now has taken this 3rd division side to this tremendous victory at Wembley today.
Back home in Wiltshire, back home in Swindon, the public saluted Danny Williams and the Swindon Town 3rd Division Cup heroes. Remember, their season wasn't over yet. They were going to go on to also gain promotion. But that night, it was just all about remembering what these extraordinary lads had achieved. 11 long matches. They'd taken on the best the 1st Division could offer, and they'd given them all a hammering. It had all come to that wonderful climax at Wembley. Well, we're seeing you with the old knife and fork there, Kevin. Was that a good night? A good night was had by all after beating Arsenal?
Well, these lot more about that than me, Rog. I think it was.
What do you? How do you compare this lot with the present lads whose legs you mend and keep fit?
You can't compare them really, because I replaced the fella on the right there on the photograph. And when you replace a legend, it's very hard to do. And as Frank will tell you, Danny, Harry Cousins was a legend. I hope I only do as good a job as he did today. But looking at this lot, I mean, John and I, and John's assistant manager, we've had the privilege to be associated with 2 great sides. These lads went to Italy. Fascetti was the captain of Juventus. They had Luis del Sol. Roma had Luis Suarez. And these played against the best in Europe.
OK, Kevin, as the physiotherapist there was pointing out to us, they went on to win the Anglo-Italian Cup. But We've been talking about the day that every West Country soccer fan will always remember, and a day that one or two others will remember as well. Because with us tonight is the man who scored that Arsenal goal, the man who's spent most of his career playing and managing here in the West Country. He is, of course, Bobby Gould. Well, now, Bob, what's your memories of that particular day when these lads put it across the greatest team in the land? Because you were going on to do the double, weren't you?
Yes, we were going quite well at the time, but my memory is that goal and breaking down and crying. It was in pain because I'm not quite sure whether Frank caught me on the throat or not. I don't know whether you would today, Frank.
Do you have nightmares about this, dreams about it?
Yeah, of course we do. I woke up on a Sunday morning, I thought it was all a dream, but it wasn't. It was real. But they had a magnificent performance on this Saturday, and the pitch there was atrocious. I think we all look back at it and think that we regret playing on Wembley as we did at that time because the pitch was in a terrible state. But their stamina and their fitness and the team spirit, which has been shown through here tonight, brought them through.
Joe Butler just revealed that, in fact, your manager at the time, Don Howe, wanted the game off at 90 minutes.
I would anticipate that, you know, and looking back at some of the legs that were running in extra time there in that video, because I've never seen that video before. Some of the lads did get a little bit tired, but full credit to Danny Williams and his fitness.
Now, you've been a leader of men. You are now with Wimbledon. This was a collection of really good players with a lot of spirit, wasn't it?
Yes, and I think that's what the game's all about, Roger. When you look down at great teams throughout the years, these 11 people that go out there to do the business on a Saturday associate with one thing in common, and that's to be a good team. And come what may, the result, they will remain good players, and they'll come out and be good players.
Bobby, thanks very much for joining us. If you take a seat.
Don, you earned it.
Well, there we are then, Bob. Give it to the lads who actually won the cup on the day. Now, Danny, what were you saying about Bobby Gould before the programme, about you tried to buy him, but he was on more money than you at the time?
He was, aye. And I needed 2 checkbooks to buy Bob.
I think that might be on more money.
Willie Penman, it wasn't all about money in those days, was it?
No, we played for the love of the game then. I don't know if they still do that, but yeah, good all-round strengths, and everybody backed each other up, and good team spirit.
John Trollope, you're still working at the Swindon Town Football Club. How would you compare the different attitudes of players to money then and now?
Towards money?
Yes.
Oh, I think it's money orientated now. The game's all about money, and the quicker they can get to another club and maybe get another payment, I think they do that a little bit, I'm afraid.
Frank Burrows, you're now a manager. Is managing as much fun as playing?
I still get pleasure out of it. It's difficult because of the advent of freedom of contracts made it difficult for managers now because players can move on quickly. And in a way, I don't blame them because they've got short careers and they've got to look after themselves.
Would you like to have managed the Swindon side that you played in?
Yes, yes. I would have had a problem with one player, possibly
yourself
drinking habits. But apart from that, no. It's just one of these fairy tales that come true. I mean, he pulled us all together, Danny, and for whatever reason, we all clicked, and it came off for us.
Yeah. Rod, you went on, of course, to First Division football and Wales many times, but you'll never forget the Swindon team?
Oh, no. I mean, I won at Derby, we won the First Division Championship, but still my most vivid and happiest memories are with Swindon lads. Now,
Danny, you're a blunt Yorkshireman. You used to have a laugh and a joke with these lads, but underneath, you were a hard man. What was your secret? Because this was a very, very good football team.
Well, I used to work in the pits and play, and I used to come and train, and I was dedicated. And we once tried it, you know, fastening a strap to a man's leg and timing the amount of work he did on the pitch. And nobody, no matter what position he played, did above 20 minutes. Now, every Thursday morning, I used to train these odds solid for 25 minutes. Odd. And I thought, well, if ever we have an extra time, these lads will be fit to go. And we had 3 lots extra time, and we proved in the long run that fitness pays as well as good footballers.
Thank you, Danny. Well, there you are, Swindon's training secrets of the time, in addition to the fact that Don Howe wanted to stop that match at 90 minutes. Well, I'd like to say thank you to all of these lads for giving us that original great memory ever in the West Country back in 1969, and for coming along tonight to share with us once more the thrills and excitement of that wonderful afternoon 20 years ago this week when Swindon Town won the cup.
And next Friday's programme at 11:05 is Scene 89.
Rogers is streaking ahead and he's onside. Beautiful play!